Good evening. My name is Michael Fager, and this is the June 30th, 2025 meeting of the Somerville Conservation Commission. Pursuant to the Acts, Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, this meeting is being held remotely. As I said, I'm Michael Fager. I'm the chair. I'd like to have the other members of the commission introduce themselves. David, you can go first.
David Turn, Commissioner.
Susan.
Susan O'Brien, Commissioner.
You're the only one left.
Oh, Newton Tedder, Commissioner.
Okay. We will start with the first thing on our agenda tonight, which is a request for determination of applicability for the Mystic Pedestrian Bridge samplings for the bridge that allegedly is going to cross the Mystic between Everett and Somerville and land and draw 7. So which of you, 5 or 4, I guess, is going to start this presentation?
Yes, I will kick us off. Let me just share my screen. The slides here.
Can you please introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, commissioners. My name is Jasmine Olens. I'm here with Tetra Tech. My colleague Richard Java is on with us as well. And we are here with MassDOT. And I believe we just have Bill Conroy on the line from MassDOT at the moment.
We also have Ted Boyle as well.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Ted. Thank you. And then we also have AECOM working on the geotechnical and the project management for this project. So we've got Joe Allwarden and John Risatano on the line. And John, when you have a moment, could you maybe rename yourself by clicking the 3 dots in the top right corner of your video and then click rename? I think my link sent around my name on the Zoom link, so you're misnamed at the moment. All right, let's get started here. Let me just share my screen. Oh, could you enable screen sharing actually?
Malik, can you do that?
Absolutely. 1 second. Here we go. And bingo. You're all set.
Thank you. All right. Can everybody see my screen with the presentation?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, great. So as I mentioned, we're here with the Massachusetts Department of Transportation, MassDOT, and the Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation, DCR, who are the proponents for this project. DCR is a property owner for the project along with the MBTA. They share property ownership. So for this RDA, this is for sediment sampling required for the proposed pier-supported bicycle and pedestrian bridge that will span the Mystic River between Somerville and Everett, crossing from the DCR Harbor Walk connector in Everett to the DCR Draw 7 Park in Somerville. Previous sampling for this project in 2018 included 4 soil sediment samples and 1 water sample. But additional sampling has been required for this stage of the project. So that is why we are here with you tonight. So the project is located on the Mystic River in the upland at the Draw 7 Park in Somerville and is located across from the Encore Boston Harbor Resort. As I mentioned before, it's comprised of land owned by DCR and the MBTA. And it's located downriver from the Amelia Earhart Dam and upriver from the Alfred Street Bridge. And there is an existing elevated MBTA railroad bridge that crosses the Mystic River just north of the project site. All right, so the proposed sampling for this project is expected to take 3 days and in July 2025. The project is not anticipated to permanently impact any resource areas that are within the commission's jurisdiction. So the proposed sampling includes 10 scour protection analysis samples, and then 2 water quality samples. The sampling will be conducted via a barge on the river and also on the upland, just via hand tools. And within the RDA, we also submitted a DEP approved sampling plan and methodology. So just a couple of existing conditions photographs to get you acquainted with the site. The project site, as I mentioned, at the Draw 7 Park is currently under construction, which this will significantly change the upland of the Mystic River upland and the Draw 7 Park. So these existing conditions photographs, things are changing and may not look like this now and will certainly not look like this in the future. But currently the upland is flat and it slopes down to the Mystic River. The upland is comprised of grass, brush, and a bituminous concrete walkway. And on the bank on the shoreline, it's considered disturbed and there's a mix of loose gravel and boulders. You can see here the 2 views of the bank and the upland. Now I'll hand it over to AECOM to give a little bit more information about the sampling methodology.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is John Risitano. I'm a project manager, professional engineer, and geotechnical department at AECOM. So we're going to take some scour protection samples at a maximum of 2-foot depth. This will be attempted with a vibrocore. And for those that are unfamiliar with vibrocoring, you vibrate a clear tube about 3 or 4 inches in diameter down into the sediment, and then you withdraw it with a jib crane that is mounted on a boat or a float. The float would be used to hold the jib crane as well as the equipment for the vibrocoring. In addition, we would have a small drill rig on board. It's called a skid rig. It's very light and it can fit on a small barge. And the water quality samples will be taken to a maximum depth of 15 feet. So samples will be collected on the barge, preserved, and stored properly in boxes and so forth. The barge and the small boat will be deployed from Boston Harbor and move up downriver from the harbor to the sampling locations. Samples in the upland will be taken by hand tools, also in sealed bags and glass jars for transport for laboratory testing.
All right, thank you very much. We'll move on to the next slide, or unless you had anything else.
Can you explain what a scour protected sample is, please?
Yes, John, are you able to take that one?
What did you say it was?
These samples are described as 10 scour protection samples. I'm wondering if you can explain what a scour protection sample is.
Oh, okay. Scour protection is for the bridge. And we're trying to determine the hydraulics involved on the bottom of the river. And so
Okay.
the bridge, you don't want the pier on the bridge to be undermined by a storm event and a large flood, which would scour the soil around it.
So you're looking for whether it's scourable material?
That's correct.
In that vicinity. Okay, thank you.
Yep, and this is Joe Allwarden from AECom. If I could also add to that, it's
Go ahead.
also for like a sieve analysis of those samples for the grain size
Mhm.
for our scour hydraulics engineers to exactly do what John was just describing.
Yeah, thank you.
Great, all right.
Any other questions?
Well, feel free to ask questions now or at the end of the presentation as well. But we'll move on for now. All right, so just wanted to give a quick overview of what work is proposed within the resource areas. So 8 samples will be taken from land under ocean, fish runs, and land containing shellfish, adding up to approximately 1 square foot. There will also be up to 8 square feet of potential temporary alteration from the anchoring of the barge. And then 2 samples will be taken from within the coastal bank and the 25-foot riverfront area. This will also equal up to approximately 1 square foot. And then we also have 2 samples taken from the upland in the buffer zone to bank. So here's a site plan just showing the resource areas and the sample locations, and there's a lot going on here, but I can try and walk folks through it. We have the different resource areas colored, so you can see the coastal bank is the green dashed line, and then the second green dashed line. I don't know if you can see my cursor here. The second green dashed line is the 100-foot buffer zone to bank. We also have the riverfront area with this purple pink color. And we have mean low water and mean high water as well. And then each of the sampling locations are numbered. And then we have the 2 water quality sample locations. And then the sediment sample locations as well. So we do have one other site plan on the next slide, which is just an aerial view. It shows the same thing, but might be easier to sort of understand where these samples will be taken from. As I mentioned, 10 sediment sample and 2 water quality samples. So we'll just wrap up quickly talking about mitigation for the project. There will be no permanent impacts as a result of this project. All alterations will be temporary and will be restored to pre-existing locations after the work has finished. In the water, the areas will restore naturally, and upland, the areas will be restored in kind. And I don't know if John mentioned during the sampling methodology, but the sample diameters are 3 inches in diameter, so a de minimis effect on the resource areas. So all directives for restoration of the resource areas after the work are all included in the project plans for the contractor. So just overall wanted to request concurrence from the commission that the proposed sampling does not require a notice of intent pursuant to the Wetlands Protection Act and its regulations, as the impacts are minimal and temporary in nature, short in duration, and will not result in permanent alterations to resource areas. And as I mentioned, any temporary impacts will be returned to pre-existing conditions. So with that, I think I will open it up to any questions and discussion from the commission.
I have a question, and as you know, we've been dealing with this proposed project for over 7 years. And I know you just had a public meeting last week. And I was wondering if you could show us any of the part of that presentation, showing us what this now proposed bridge looks like, where it's going to land, stuff like that, just so that we can get a sense more from your drawings of what we're really looking at here, what the real proposal is. Because, you know, this project's changed a lot in 7 years, and I want to know what exactly we're talking about now.
Yeah, good question, Mike. Bill Conroy from Supervising Project Manager for Major Projects. Yeah, this is a great project. It has changed somewhat. Joe, do you have those slides available? Just the PowerPoint presentation? Maybe we can share that.
Bill, yes, I do. It'll just take me a second to call him up.
Okay. Yeah. Basically, we would task Mike to, and other commission members, to basically, we took this over from DCR, and we were going, and they brought it to X%, and then we kind of dusted it off. And, let's just say they might have been building the Taj Mahal, so to speak, Mike. So we had to tone it down a little bit. It was kind of, let's just put it this way: there was probably 3 contractors and 3 designers in the world that could have built what they were proposing to build, and the number of that bridge was far north of our $65 million price tag. It was well over $100 million. So we were tasked to try to look at this, salvage the foundations that had been designed, and see if we can, basically put a nice bridge over here, but not to that extent. And I think with a team at AECOM and others have done a great job here. So, Joe, with that being said, are you ready to go?
Yep, I am. Thanks,
Okay,
Bill.
great. Thank you.
And I
very
would
much. Thank you.
just add one thing,
Go ahead.
Commissioner, that one reason we're here with you today is what Jasmine described. And we did do water quality samples back in the previous iteration of this design, but those expired after 3 years from DEP. So that's one other reason we're back to see you, just to put context why we're here for this. So let me try to share my screen 2, share. Let me know if you can see that.
Yep.
So if you recall the previous one, it's a pretty similar overall design of the bridge. So what we're looking at here is from downstream looking up river, with the MBTA bridge in the background, Somerville on the left-hand side and Everett on the right. So we're sweeping under the MBTA bridge still. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 piers in the waterway, which is the same locations as the previous design. And then a couple of bridges on foundations on the uplands. The bridge is more traditional, like Bill was saying, a more traditional kind of beam design. And then we have an arch type structure shown to span over the navigation channel.
And,
There's a couple of other views. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have gone from the original width of the bridge, the usable width was
That's
12
true.
feet. We are now going to 18 feet wide. So much more use
Yep.
for the pedestrians. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, this shows
And
this.
cyclists.
I'll jump to that. This shows a view of the bridge deck. We previously had proposed 12 feet wide, and now it is 18 feet wide based on community input and discussions with the bike ped community. And so now we're at 18 feet wide. And this other view here shows some a view of how it sweeps under the MBTA bridge. This alignment is pretty much identical to the curved alignment south of or I guess you could say either south or east of the MBTA bridge. And then this is just a close-up picture of the navigation span. So does that give you a sense, Commissioner?
Yeah, so you're going to have what, 3, I guess. Will be in the river on the Somerville side, 3 of your piers.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
And then
this one on Pier 1 is on the bank, and I believe it is below in the resource area.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
so
then the other
3.
two are actually in the river, and then the one on the upland. Okay.
Correct. The abutment would be behind the MBTA bridge that you can't really see here on the page. Yep. And those are pretty much, within a few feet because of geometry changes of where they were shown in the previous iteration of this project. Same number of drilled shafts, etc.
Given that the bridge is going to be wider, will these be larger than the original plan or the same size? Will they have a larger
Almost
footprint?
the same size. So only 2 of them changed from 6 feet to 8 feet. The rest remain the same.
Okay.
So when we submit the full project, NOI, et cetera, you'll see a little more detail, but I believe the pier where I'm pointing, the pier in the Somerville side by the arch span, those went from 6 feet to 8 feet, but remained 2 shafts at 8 feet now.
Okay.
So does that answer the
Yeah.
question? I'm happy to answer more questions about it, or these are the
Is that-
graphics we shared the other night. So.
Is that fence going to be high enough to prevent people from jumping off?
No, this will be a pedestrian railing, so 42-inch high railing, bicycle pedestrian railing. It is not a fence or something higher than a normal protection rail. We call it a guardrail for pedestrian.
Okay. Does anybody else have any more questions about the design? You guys will be coming back for us, I guess, sometime next year for a notice of intent, because your current order of
Correct.
conditions will be expiring next summer.
Yes, that's correct. Even hopefully sooner, I believe. Right, Jasmine and Richard, we're hoping to see you again before the end of the year, I think.
Well, that's fine with me. When do you have any guesstimate as to when you might actually start construction, or is that too soon?
That would be in the fall of 2026.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other commissioners have any questions about this?
How long is the sampling program going to take?
I'm sorry, what was that? How long was what going to take?
How long is the sampling program going to take?
Oh, thanks. It's 3 days of sampling, so very short sampling process.
Have you provided a copy of what you described as the DEM approved sampling plan to?
The DEP approved sampling plan?
DEP,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, we provided a copy
Okay.
of the sampling
I'm
plan with
not
the
sure if
RDA to the commission. With our filing in May, I believe, middle of May, we filed.
Do you know, Malik, did you distribute that to us, or do we not? Do I have that?
Took my mouse a while to get through 3 screens. Did you just ask if I submitted the RDA to you?
No, if we have the sample, the DEP approved sampling plan.
Oh, I don't believe so. Unless it was included in the RDA.
Yes, it is included as an attachment in the RDA.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Because as I understand, you're proposing that because of the de minimis impact and that you don't need an order of conditions from the Conservation Commission. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I guess from my perspective, making that determination would be based on what the potential impacts are. And that's why I was wondering, the extent to which, the DEP approved plan addresses the materials you're using, how you're guarding it. Like for example, the VibraCore, is that, how is that powered? Is that diesel powered? Is it fuel powered? So do you have, is there fuel on the barge? Those would be the sort of things I'd be concerned about, the potential for spills.
The VibraCore is run by an electric generator. It's just a vibrator that sits on top of the tube.
So no fuels.
Well,
or is the generator fuel? Is the generator diesel powered?
Yeah, no, it's not diesel. No, it's a small unit. It's a small home unit that you would carry around and you can put on a boat. So it's not.
So it's fully electric.
Yes.
Okay. Because that's what I'm actually trying to tease out is whether there's any pollutants that are involved that could spill in the event of a mishap while you're doing the activity.
Well, the only thing I can think of is, they have an extra 5-gallon pail of gasoline on the boat.
So just what's on the boat itself, nothing that you guys are, which I assume would be covered by normal Coast Guard,
right?
Regulations. So I'm not regulating that. But that would just be kind of my concern is the potential for mishap and pollutant, discharges, during even this short duration event. Anyone else have any?
Here we go. I'm just curious, because I'm not an engineer. When you say that these core samples are going to be taken by a device that's doing a vibration, that's how you push it into the ground. What if you run into one of those big boulders that like was on the shore? Do you have to pull it out and start again?
Yes, that's correct. The vibrators cannot penetrate dense materials. So if it turns out it's a sand instead of a boulder, they would normally just take a standard boring split spoon sample and drive it into the sand and recover the soil that way. We're not intending to do any coring, which would, is require a bigger rig and so forth. So we're not going to sample any boulders for sure.
Okay.
Is the vibrocore like a geoprobe? Is it similar to that?
Is it like a what?
The geoprobe that you use for soil sampling.
Oh no, it's yeah, the geoprobe has those clear tubes as well,
Yeah.
but those are small diameter. This is a 3-inch diameter,
Mhm.
inside diameter, clear pipe, so that they can drive it into the ground or vibrate it rather into the ground. But they run in lengths of 6 and 10 feet. So if
Wow.
we had a thick sediment column, we could get a 10-foot, and the conditions were correct. You have to understand that. Yeah, you could recover a 10-foot length of sample with the vibrocore. But that's the limit, 10 foot.
I have a quick question. I'm looking at I'm on page, I don't know what page I'm on 18 of the DRA, the RDA, and it says, I'm sorry, I lost my place when I was trying to get the page. It says something about in the third paragraph under the memo, it says additional sampling of dredge material must be completed to meet the requirements of CMR 99.07. The anticipated dredge volume of about 375 cubic yards. Is what is being collected now, or is that for the construction of the bridge in?
That's for the construction of the bridge.
It's because it's unclear. It looks like it's like what you are applying to do in the sediment sampling plan. Okay.
Yeah,
No.
and hi, I'm Courtney Walker from MassDOT. And just to kind of clarify that, when we have a project that is dredging over 100 cubic yards, that's where we essentially have to submit a sediment sampling plan to DEP, letting them know we're going out to take samples because.
So that's what triggered. That's what triggered
Yeah,
the requirement.
exactly.
That they do. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it didn't make any sense that we're talking about 375 cubic yards now, but I certainly wanted to clarify that.
Are the samples being collected to determine the offsite disposal facility? Is it for characterization purposes as well?
I believe so, yes. There will be chemical testing on the samples, and that will give an indication. But however, you need to do more testing when you actually do the dredging to verify.
Yep, and I think the 3, and Jasmine, you could correct me, but the 3 samples that were identified as water quality samples, those are the ones in that category. And the other sediment samples for the scour are for what we discussed earlier, to determine for the engineering on the scour analysis, if that.
Yeah, just a small correction, 2 water quality samples.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you, Jasmine.
Are there any more questions from the commissioners? Do we have any discussion about this request for determination? I certainly don't see any reason why we shouldn't allow it, especially since they'll be coming back to us with a new notice of intent for this project before they actually begin real work on it. Does anyone else have any concerns or thoughts?
I have no concerns really. It seems short in duration. They've got a sampling plan together. And it's pretty low impact overall. So I think they meet the requirements of it, I believe.
Yep. All right, then does someone want to offer a motion to accept this request?
I can do that. I'll make a motion to accept the request for a negative determination.
I'll second it.
Okay, we'll take a quick vote. O'Brien,
Yes, I accept.
Turin,
Yes.
Tedder,
Yes.
and Commissioner Chair Fager says yes also. Okay, then. So we will get this out to you as soon as possible. And thank you all for coming and presenting us, and thank you for showing us the slides of the overall project, just to give us context.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
Yep,
Thank you.
all.
Thank you.
Now it's just us. I don't know if any of you went or attended the public meeting, but the overall consensus of the attendees who said things about this is they were quite pleased the bridge was 18 feet instead of the originally proposed 12 feet.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I was on some of the calls
yeah,
the last time around, and the bicycle people were very unhappy with the
Yes.
proposed split.
I am also, if I may offer a personal opinion, a little surprised they actually did that. But I'm pleased too. Okay, getting on with our agenda.
Was an agenda sent out? I couldn't find it.
I have one.
I don't-
Let's see, I will forward it to all you guys. 1 second.
Malik, you're in the office.
Yeah, usually it's Tuesdays until around 10. But but yeah, I had to get a jump on things on Monday, especially with this meeting. So let's see.
And I also would like to thank you all for agreeing to change the date.
Yes, that's very important. It was hard to schedule. So thank you guys for having flexibility. And let's see. So agenda. Sent.
I mean, if you sent, I mean, I just don't see, did other people get it?
No, I didn't get it.
Yikes. So let me see something. Open meeting law posting, agenda, post.
I have to decide whether I want to attend the meeting or not.
It's too late, you're here.
Let's see. So I'll just send it to everyone right now. And actually, all right. So let's see. That should be perfect. May. Turns is not here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It should be flying through the air right now. Whew. Now let's see. I should take another look at that. Is there something I want to speak to you all about? Let's see. Get large. Move it over here. Okay, so there's that, and then. Okay, here we go. Hmm. Okay, that's that. Okay, that's perfect. Okay. Everyone get it?
Yep.
All right, very good. So, if we are moving on to incoming correspondence,
Go ahead.
all right. I've gotten an email from Rafael Peruzzo, who's interested. He's a member of Soya, and he is the Portuguese services coordinator. And I believe that Groundwork has approached him about a project that they want to do in order to help people connect more about community gardens and the garden beds. And so they want to collaborate on a project that would offer workshops and make sure it's open to people during spring and summer, so that they could kind of process culturally relevant herbs and plant them. So they want to have a workshop kind of deal there. So we've had a conversation briefly, but he wants to come, and I think it would be most appropriate if someone actually came and spoke to you all about that. I explained to him that this community gardens are more or less self-managed and they make a lot of these decisions on their own. But if it's to offer an extra resource, and this commission could give their opinion on said project once it's intelligibly conveyed to you, that would be ideal.
Do you want to ask him to come back for the July meeting?
Yes, I will. He wasn't available for this meeting, or the meeting that should have been like a week ago. So I will keep in touch with him and let him know about that.
So that would,
I mean, did he have a specific community garden he wanted to do it at? Or was it more general than that?
Good question. Mm,
Because if he had a particular one in mind, it might be good to then reach out to that garden coordinator.
yeah, I think this is pretty much everywhere. Yeah, he does. We have somewhere on. Yeah, I think it's pretty much he wants to paint with a very broad brush across the community gardens in Baton. And they're affiliated with Groundwork, so
doesn't Groundworks run the South Street Farm?
I think so.
I thought Groundworks ran a bunch of. I thought the Groundworks ran the beds at least around the Argenziano school. I think that's Groundworks.
Well, I think those are theoretically for the students. I mean, they may run them, but I think they're theoretically for the students in the schools.
Yeah, but it still may be a lower threshold to get in there than expect community gardens to give up one of their plots.
Yeah, and that's why I was asking about the South Street Farm. What about doing it there?
Well, I guess this is all things we can discuss when we meet with them.
Okay. Malik, perhaps you should invite Cindy as well to that meeting.
Oh, absolutely, because it's garden and maybe some garden coordinators.
Yeah, they'll tear them apart.
Good, we can let them. We don't have to be the bad guys all the time. Okay, any other correspondence?
Let's see. I believe that Amber got back to us with some more information in regards to our site visit. So to give background, 1 second. Okay, so the Mystic Pathway Construction Pathways Project, DEP 2870074, which is a small stretch of pathway improvements that was geared to start a while ago. They just started a few weeks ago and they needed a site visit. So me and Commissioner Fager went out there and went and looked at everything. And we had a few concerns. And Amber reached out about the dead tree that I saw, and they got an arborist to remove it, and they will send photos on the catch basin sock with the caution tape and erosion controls once they are done. And that was about 15 days ago. So I also got a contact list of people, which was also discussed during the meeting. So I will see if I got any photos from her and follow up. 1 second. 16:4. No.
Just to remind everyone, this is the small project over by the Whole Foods in Medford, and that tiny little peninsula of Somerville that extends into Medford.
Yeah, I don't remember the project. What was happening there?
It's if you're familiar with the Whole Foods in Medford, right on Route 16.
Yeah.
There's a bridge there that just at that intersection with the traffic light that crosses the Mystic River.
Mhm.
That little triangle of land between Route 16, that bridge, and Boston Avenue is actually in Somerville.
The triangle to the north of the bridge?
Yeah.
Is that where the CSO facility is?
No, that's
I'm on the wrong bridge?
down. You're on the wrong bridge.
Okay, that's fine.
That's farther down the river, or
Yeah.
of the river, actually.
Yeah.
But this little piece, a couple of years ago, they rebuilt the bike path from the railroad bridge, which bisects this piece in half, going west, I guess, up to Alwife Brook and all the way up to the Alwife T station. But they didn't do this little stretch. It's about 200 yards long, maybe a little bit more than that. And so they're going to fix it. It really is in bad shape. They're going to fix it and change the grade and do what they can. So that's what this little project is about.
Okay.
How'd it look?
Well, we found a storm drain that needed protection that they hadn't even seen. And as Malik said, there was a tree between the sidewalk and Route 16 that was dead and really needed to come out. But otherwise it didn't look that bad.
All right, so there's that. Let's see what else.
Malik,
Yes.
is it possible for you to just send the pictures along to all of us commissioners on an email so we can view them at our leisure?
Send the what?
The ones that Amber sent you?
Yes. She didn't.
This is a
send
DCR.
those-
This is a DCR project, by the way.
Amber, and check. I got the contact list.
Who's doing the work?
I don't remember a contractor, but I don't remember who.
Kind of dismaying to hear they missed a catch basin.
Yeah, I was surprised. Well, it was kind of,
Towards the end on the other side.
it was on the other side of the sidewalk under some trees between the sidewalk and the river. So,
Okay. So was it going to get disturbed material?
it could very easily have, yes.
Let's see. So there's that. Okay. So yeah, I'll reach out to Amber and see if I can get those photos because she said she would send them, but she never did.
Okay.
Yeah. There's that. Luzo, Christopherson, Gardens. Okay. Also, I've been talking with Roberta in regards to our Concom vacancy, and I've submitted everything after hunting down the AAC.
Is this the same Roberta that runs the Community Preservation Committee?
Yep. And
Okay.
she reminded me that Commissioner Turin's term is almost up, and this is his last term, as he took on a partial term previously. So
This is on the Community Preservation Committee.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're stealing my thunder, Mike.
Oh, I am kind
I
of.
was gonna make
Was
a
that
big
going to come up in the
big
committee
dramatic
update?
announcement. Yes, it was. It was the only thing I had.
Oh, well, we'll table this for a minute.
All right. And then we'll table that. And then of course that goes into my next bit of news is that I've found out who the next liaison for the AAC was. And then I finally reached out to them. So they meet the first Wednesday and third Thursday of every month. So it may be a little tight to try and get it into this meeting, but I will see if I crash one. And
This is for a new commissioner.
For a new commissioner.
So we have someone lined up. I may have missed that.
We have 4 applicants.
Okay.
So
this is after Roberta beating the bushes.
This is after Roberta helping me hunt down the appropriate person to hunt down to figure out who's on the AAC, if they're fully staffed, and who the liaison is. So actually, the liaison currently is an HR person now, which is kind of appropriate because it's recruitment and retention. Before it moved all the way around to like a different social positions. Like, yeah, it was very strange. So it was a community service specialist. Now it's more of a recruitment and retention specialist. So it's more on the nose in terms of recruitment. So I don't have to spend so much time redacting every single resume that comes in. But 6 people inquired about it. 2 people never really gave their resumes after I told them what everything was. And we have 4 applicants, 2 of which I believe may be qualified. So it is, yeah, we'll at least get 1, I believe.
Great.
So,
Okay.
yeah, and Michael, I'm not even sure if the rules have changed only for commissions that are under the AAC or if they didn't. So I know the Urban Forestry Committee needs to interview with the chair, but as the commissions that are under the AAC are already regulated under the AAC, I'm not even sure that you're required to be there. So I'll find that out from Kristen Hutter. Yeah, I'll find that out from the appropriate source.
All right. Can you do that as soon as you can? I know it's going to be a tough week this week, but because there's a holiday and stuff.
Oh yeah, I have no plans, so I'll do it.
Okay. So any other correspondence?
Let's see. Yes, let's see. In terms of everything I organized, let's see. No.
Okay. All right, then we will move on to committee and task force reports. The Community Preservation Committee is the only one on the agenda. David, what do you have to tell us?
Hey, I'm term limited.
No, really?
Yes.
I think I read that once in the.
Yeah, so my term ends at the end of December, so we have some time, but somebody up will have to step up and take the baton. And and serve as the CPC on the CPC seat, in the CPC seat. In the seat, no, the Concom seat on the CPC.
The representative of the Conservation Commission on the
Yes.
Community Preservation Committee, is that what you're trying to say?
That's what I was
articulate?
trying to say. Yeah. I should have let
Um,
Malik explain it. So that, and so that, right, so the end of December. So we have a, so we have a couple of months, but
Couple of months.
of course, we don't meet in August, and before you know it, it'll be November. We have to think about it.
Does the Community Preservation Committee meet remotely like this, or do they meet in person?
Yes, they meet remotely on, what are we, the third?
We meet on the third Tuesday of the month,
I think they're either
officially.
the third Wednesday or the fourth Wednesday, but it often seems to be the day after our meeting.
Yeah.
So we meet the fourth Tuesday of every month.
Fourth Tuesday.
Fourth
So they meet
Tuesday.
they meet the fourth Wednesday, which is
makes
something in an ideal world, I would prefer wasn't the case, to have my 2 monthly meetings back to back, but that's the way it is.
Yep.
On the positive side, it's just meeting week that week.
Yeah, that's true. It would be bad if it was the second and fourth.
I guess, yeah.
You couldn't really plan vacations so well.
The other thing is you guys probably all know, the increase in the in the tax assessment passed last November. So we're now getting 3% instead of the 1.5%. What we just learned when we met last Wednesday was that whatever finance committee makes decisions like this determined that rather than starting to assess that additional 1.5% starting in the first and second quarters of the coming fiscal year, they're not going to start the assessment until January, but they still are planning to collect the full 3%. So people are going to get to pay twice as much for the second 2 quarters of the year, which I think is unfortunate. So there will be, I think, some sticker shock when people, if people actually look at their bills, and it'll be twice as much as they thought it was going to be. And then we're going to have to try and do some messaging to explain that's only this 2 quarters, and it'll go back to half that. I don't know why they did it like that, but they didn't ask us. The other interesting,
are they even allowed to do that? I
which
mean,
part?
well,
Collect
okay.
twice as much?
No. By initiative petition, the citizens of the city voted to increase it from 1.5 to 3.
Right.
My assumption is with a normal statutory process is statutes go into effect 90 days after they are enacted. So one would assume it would have gone into effect 90 days after the election day, which means it would have started probably on the first quarter of the fiscal year. I
Right.
think so.
Right. But they didn't do that.
Oh,
You can represent the citizens of Somerville in a class action suit.
yeah, that's okay. Supreme Court would like that. They love class action suits.
Yeah. Yeah. And see if we can get a nationwide injunction.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be. So I think it's unfortunate that I don't know if they just didn't act on it soon enough to get it in place in time for the first quarter of the year, or they have some other slightly more defensible and cogent explanation. But I haven't heard one. And they didn't offer us one. They just said this is what's happening.
Maybe they thought it was self-enacting and then too late realized they had to do something. I don't know.
The other conversation, which I thought was interesting, was not directly related to open space and recreation stuff, but just as a process issue. The city would like the CPC to provide for 30% of the affordable housing coordinator's salary. And their argument seemed to be because we give them so much money that it's a lot of work for them to oversee the money we give them. So we should pay, some share of their salary. I think it's safe to say that the committee members were lukewarm to the idea, but it would come out of the administrative fee, the administrative set aside.
I think that there might be statutory problems with that.
Yes, that was raised by one of the committee members, and the guy with Alan Ignacio, whoever he is, didn't seem to think it was a problem. So that's above my pay grade.
Who's he? Is he the city solicitor?
He is not the city solicitor, but he's Roberta's boss.
Finance director.
Well, yeah, well, this is a question of law, not a question of finance.
Well, in any event, it's another suit for you. Good thing you're retired.
I can't do suits because I gave up my license.
Oh, jeez.
I put it into retirement status because I didn't want to pay the money.
Well,
The license fee wouldn't have been too bad, but I would have had to carry insurance, and I didn't want to do that.
so in any event, it was unclear whether they kind of wanted us to know they were doing it. It was unclear whether they were asking us if they could do it or not, or whether they're, so they're going to come back. They kind of took the temperature of the room, so to speak. And I think they're going to come back and decide how they're going to respond to this request.
I don't know how you feel about it, but I think it's wrong. I think that this person is a city.
I made an impassioned case for it not being correct and us having a fiduciary responsibility that the money be spent in the 3 program areas.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see.
This person's a city employee, isn't she?
Yes. I believe so, right, Malik? I assume they are. Well, actually, the position is vacant, kind of peculiarly.
Which position is it again?
It was the affordable housing coordinator position.
I don't
Not
know.
the woman who runs the Affordable Housing Trust.
Coordinator.
I don't think so. I was a little unclear about the relationship between the Affordable Housing Trust and the Affordable Housing Coordinator, who I think works with the Affordable Housing Trust.
I'm going to take a look at the budget real quick.
And I understand, though, that the position is being filled in an interim basis by the person who would be the supervisor of that position. But I didn't get a name. So that was so I thought it was an interesting discussion.
Well, I think he's wrong. By law, I think he's
wrong.
Well,
that's actually, it's good to hear, because I said that I was not comfortable with it, as did most of the other committee members. But hearing that that the committee the commission that I represent doesn't like it is something something else that I can.
It supports your position.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, that gives us a lot to think about.
Right now, like I said, it's not clear whether it's being done by fiat or whether they're asking us. They seem to think that they have control over this administrative pocket of money.
They don't.
So, well, right now that pays Roberta's salary.
Right, that's what it's supposed to do.
Pays Roberta's salary. They did make the determination this year to pay 100% of her salary instead of 90% of her salary, which is what they had been doing. And they didn't ask us about that either. Now I don't know that we would have objected, but they didn't. Just for point of context, they didn't ask us.
If it comes within the 5% of,
the 5% is way bigger. That's actually the issue. Is there's plenty more among the 5%. What normally happens, though, is every couple of years or when is needed, we roll that money over into projects.
Which is what it should be
into the unobligated fund. So it's not like it's money we can't use for these project areas. It's just, which is why I made the case that it's not exactly like it's money we can't tap.
And even though affordable housing is one of the interest areas of the Community Preservation Act, administration of affordable housing is not part of the remit of the Community Preservation Act or committee. We give money for affordable housing, and then it's up to them to.
Yeah, but now the counter case that was made, which I thought was kind of interesting, is because we don't administer that money directly. We just kind of give 50%. That's something else that changed. Apparently, went up to 55%. But
I heard that
too.
Did you guys vote on that? I mean, you sound like that it happened without you guys. It sounds like you say it like it happened without you guys enacting it.
I wasn't. If they told us in advance we made that decision, it may have been made last month. I missed the meeting last month, so maybe
that could be.
It was a decision last month to increase it, and it's entirely possible because I did miss last month's meeting.
Okay.
And I don't have an objection to that because again, poll after poll, affordable housing is, the highest priority.
Right.
That people bring up. But the case what I was trying to get to is because as like with historical preservation and open space and recreation, we are in the weeds evaluating the projects and making the decisions, spending our time doing that. With affordable housing, we give it to the Affordable Housing Trust, which makes all that decision. So I guess, although it's unclear to me that that's the same person as the Affordable Housing Coordinator, the case was made that we've outsourced a big part of the management of that money, and maybe their case can be made that we could pay for the administration of that. That to me was the one potentially compelling case for it. Now,
Okay.
of course, I don't get paid to manage the funds we do manage.
Right, but on the other hand, just hypothetically speaking, we give money to develop a park. Project comes in, we want to develop Junction Park. We give a lot of money to Junction Park. Nice sign says 10 years CPC money right in the front of the park. We don't manage the administration of that money. We give it to Malik's boss, Louisa, and Louisa manages the administration of that money, and we don't pay any part of her salary.
Right, and that also was brought up by committee members, which was what would keep them from saying, and now you should pay a portion of this administration as well.
Right.
That it was a slippery slope potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are good points, Michael, and they were brought up in the discussion.
Okay. Well, I certainly do not agree with it as a member of this commission, and I support your opposition to it.
Okay. Well, we'll stay tuned. We'll see what happens.
If it comes up on the agenda next month, let me know. Maybe I'll show up at the meeting and argue.
Yeah.
Mike, I'm just idly curious if any of them have ever read the actual statute.
Come in with, if only we met in person, you could come in with big poster boards.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Anything else?
No, I mean, otherwise the process is, kind of just start initiating again for the next funding year. And so nothing really beyond that.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your work on the committee, and we'll see who we can find to take your place.
It actually is pretty interesting. I really don't,
it is.
The learning curve to figure out what the heck it is and how it works was a little bit steep. But it actually is pretty interesting, and we do give out substantial amounts of money, so it does feel meaningful.
I don't know how it is with the remote meetings, but back when I did it and we had live meetings, people appreciated the fact that you were the person giving them money to do whatever they're going to do.
No, we're just cogs in the system.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Ongoing project review. Malik, did we already cover that with the discussion about Amber?
Okay, we most certainly did. But we also covered it by talking to the folks over at the Mystic Bike Ped Bridge, because that's technically ongoing until until July 2026. And
you're gonna maybe arrange with DCR for a site visit of Draw 7?
Yes.
Because I should go out there. On my own, I haven't. It might be appropriate for us to do that.
All right. Should we narrow down a date?
I'm free all summer.
All right. Yeah, I'll figure that out. So I'll send out correspondence to set up a site visit.
Okay.
I'll throw my feelers out there to the rest of the crews and see what we could come up with.
Okay. And certainly all commissioners are invited on such a site visit, but I understand conflicts with actual jobs and stuff. So
yeah, I'll try and schedule in a way that is more accommodating if anyone expresses interest
Okay.
in such site visit.
Okay, any conservation agent action item review?
Funny enough. Okay, this bleeds into something else, but let's do it. Up, right. Yeah, I have 3 monitors and I keep losing my mouse and pauses, but I digress. Okay, so I am supposed to look into the expiration date for the Draw 7 Park project and email findings to the commissioners. Schedule site visit for the Blessing of the Bay Shoreline Path project.
Oh, that's with,
That was with Amber. Wait, was it?
oh,
Yes.
that was Amber, okay.
Yeah, that was Amber. The name changes so many times. Okay, so
That's not with Alexander from Mystic River?
no.
Okay.
And then let's see. I'm supposed to talk to Kim Wells about the possibility of electronic signatures. We're supposed to conduct interviews for the Conservation Commission vacancy. I gave my update on that.
Malik, back up 1 second.
Yep.
What signatures?
Electronic. Yep.
Didn't somebody say that it depends on what the registry wants?
Yes, like Middlesex, I believe Commissioner Kearns might have chimed in on that, how
Yes.
some registries are nay about it and demand a wet signature. And then I guess there's less appetite for it now that COVID's over. But in some cases, in some registries, there might be more appetite for it. But I know that Middlesex County, I've heard people had trouble at the Registry of Deeds
Okay,
for even smaller things.
just confirm that before we do anything.
Yep.
That's the key thing.
Okay, and then let's see, Commissioners prepare selecting a new chair for the September meeting.
Yes, I'll chair July. September, we'll select a new chair.
That seems like the next meeting, so everyone get their thinking caps on. Who wants chair?
We
in
could
front of
always,
their
we could always draft Megan because she's not here.
last name? That works. All right, so next is Malik to send the AI generated outline for meeting minutes to Michael and the commission to review and creating official minutes. And then David was to obtain information from Roberta about the end date of the CPC term, which he told us was in December. And I am supposed to update the ongoing project spreadsheet and as well as the website. I'm working on updating the website. So right now, what I'm looking to do is share my screen and walk you through 2 different things. And I want everyone to point out exactly what needs to change on the website, because I know, well, actually, I'm going to walk you through the Zoom first. So here's what we're going to do. So I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully I share the right one because there's a lot of windows open. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I played around with this a little bit. It's hard to download everything and figure out exactly how to get it in a format whereas I could share it. So if I'm in Zoom, everyone can see my screen.
Mhm.
All right, you see the frozen awkward facial expression files I just downloaded. Okay, so here's the video, and it has the audio transcript, which I've been reviewing a little bit, and it seems to be fair. Certain words and slurred words or words spoken too fast may be a little off, but for the most part, there's the transcript here to the right. Then you go down, and next steps, basically what I just read off are the action items that were picked up from the meeting. And then they had the summary of the meeting here. and it's all pretty close. So it just needs to be reviewed. And then they have little chapters. So rodent control from our last meeting.
This is auto-generated, Malik?
Yeah, it's auto-generated. It's quite amazing.
AI is doing this for us?
Yep.
Thank
And
goodness for AI.
there just needs to be some QC check on it, which is easy. And I think it has the timestamps on there, so everything could just be referenced and plopped into the agenda. So it should work. And then I just realized I could add files to the meeting too. So if I could figure all this out and really sit down with it for a few hours, I think I could solve this problem, because you could edit the smart chapters too.
And
I don't know how to go about
does
doing
the
that,
city,
but
I hesitate to ask, but does the city have any does this violate any city, whatever standard
Or state.
of putting up our minutes in this way? I don't think
so-
state, because I've seen other state, I've gotten other minutes from other Concoms where basically it's a link to a YouTube video. And I had to sit through or fast forward through the 2.5 hour meeting to find the part I wanted.
yeah, so this is why it's so helpful, because it has the timestamps. So if you
Yeah, no,
have,
this
like,
seems this is way better.
yeah,
Like for me, I've had to be told, listen to the discussion at 51 minutes and 14 seconds, which is
Yep.
fine if someone tells you that. But it's,
yeah. So if it just has a brief summary of like the rat conversation, any decisions that were made, like next steps are always good for the action item review. I just need to figure out how to use this intelligibly, and then there would be so much less of a burden. So it'll be actually quite the useful tool. However, there's some weird settings on Zoom with like AI companions and all that stuff, and I don't know or have any interest in that. Whereas like you have a person basically, or an AI bot in meetings. They do not, I think the state does not allow that.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not that savvy nor interested, because AI is pretty scary. I just wanted to give me text rundowns that I could do QC checks on and take the meat and potatoes of a meeting out. And it seems to be quite good. And anything quite intricate, I could go over. You could even search the audio transcript for certain keywords. Usually I would download it, search keywords, and look for certain things.
And it figured out who was speaking. I mean, it did all that.
Well, basically, when you put your name in, so if people didn't change their name today, it would have been six Jasmine Olins talking in a circle.
Oh, so we can tell which microphone it's getting the dialogue from?
Yep.
Wow.
It's impressive and scary at the same time.
Yeah.
So this really does solve a problem. So I think the next step is to play with this, since I can't share something like this for some reason, because you would have to have like a Zoom login. But yeah, you need administrative rights over the Zoom meeting in order to make edits and do this sort of thing. So I guess I would try and just put this together for next month. So my next task is to try and give you guys a template of meeting minutes, and then you guys would deem it acceptable or unacceptable. And I guess I could start with this April meeting, since it had so many different topics in one meeting, and it wasn't the 26-second meeting cancellation from last month. Yeah. So that's it.
Are you able to, like when you post the meeting to the website, there's a link to the Zoom meeting, right? Is there a way, does Zoom have like a way to just post a public version of this? Because you post a public version of the video. I don't know.
Yeah, Yeah, so this, I would have to manipulate the data and put it in a format, but it would have to be in the meetings format. So I could just, you know, fill in the agenda topics. I can't put this on the website like this.
Why not? You look so good.
Oh, it's terrible. The bags under my eyes have bags under them, and the lighting's very poor. But I digress. um, yeah, so it I've been looking through a few of these, and the smart chapters are quite they're pretty good. They are quite good, but some topics you could take or leave. Um, like if a conversation goes off track, that will turn into a smart chapter. Um, so I remember seeing a smart chapter about how I need to take my vacation. So it's really useful.
And can that be edited post?
Yes.
So you can go in there and say, delete that chapter. I mean, so I assume the dialogue would still be there, but you don't need to have a chapter heading to it.
Yeah. So it says edit smart chapters. Oh, and that's a little crazy. I am not into editing to that degree. Okay, so yes, I believe they can be edited. But I'm guessing I would be of the yeah, they could be edited. That's good. So I guess you could edit the video length in terms of how where is it relevant, the start and stop point. So yeah, this is quite nice. I definitely need to look at it and review it a bit more, but I guess my next task would be to do that. And I could float you guys something as early as I could so that you guys could look at it and give me feedback on what's best. And then of course I have to do it in the meeting template and make sure it doesn't turn into a 9-page hoopla. Y'all remember my 9-page minutes. So
You remember 9-page minutes. I think this would be a great idea. I mean, I am not a great supporter of AI.
I think it's scary. But this
but on the other hand, it solves a problem for us.
it solves a really big problem. Yeah. So I'll do that and I'll try and upload everything I could to the website. There's been some changes to how you post agendas and everything. I have to rename everything because of the naming convention. So yeah, there's a bit of that. And it takes a long time to upload things. So in order to upload a video that's 2 hours long, it will probably take 2 hours. So that's not really intuitive.
Right, but I'm assuming that's largely hands-off time, right? You just let it go, start it before you leave at night and let it go.
That's right. I should do it before sleep instead of doing it in the field and needing to come back to my computer. Yes, that's just true. But usually I dump things on the drive here at City Hall because I've maxed out the space on my computer several times.
Yeah, no, I mean, but I'm just kind of thinking if it's, if it's running in the background and you can still work, that's fine. But if it's taking up so much of your bandwidth.
No, it's actually no lift at all. It's just that I keep prioritizing my tree stuff that's always on fire.
I think it would be better to put on the cities.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Anyway.
If for no other reason that you don't really want city stuff on your personal computer.
Oh no, It's not my personal computer. It's
your laptop at home.
Yes.
Your work laptop.
It's my work laptop. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that I want everything on the drives.
Yeah.
On the network, so.
Yep. No, that's where
happening in that space. So yeah, that absolutely works. So I'll try and organize this as far back as necessary and let you know after my first template. So after my first template, I will try and work things backwards and see how that works. So we started our first Zoom meeting probably September of last year. Oh, I guess I could figure that out now. 1 second. Should I stop sharing? Yes. Stop share. Good. Okay, so I didn't cancel the meeting by accident this time. Let's see. Zoom, my settings, recordings, and transcripts. Boom. And we started our first Zoom meeting back in 20 results. September 2023. Does that make
What?
does that ring a bell?
No, that does not make sense. Should be 2020.
No.
We changed formats. We were using that other
We were
app
using
for a long time.
GoToMeeting for the
Oh, right,
longest
right.
time.
Web
And
software.
GoToMeeting was not as intuitive. I'm wondering if I could upload videos to this from the past and see if I could manipulate that into smart chapters. I'm definitely going to play around with this for a bit.
Okay.
But yeah, moving on.
Yes. Well, let us know next month how it's working out.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this is very promising looking. You know,
Yeah, it is.
I think it'll work great until we get burned.
Yeah, let's just stay quiet until we get burned.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and so you said that, you know.
Well, that's why I need to read it. The least I could do is read it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I usually have an eye out for things because I definitely don't want my ramblings to become public.
It's too late
Okay.
for that.
Too late for that. Yeah. Okay. Well, moving on. I think that covers the approval of the minutes section of the agenda, so we won't worry about that for the rest of this meeting. And you have discussed the Conservation Commission vacancies, right, Malik?
Yes. So
So
I have 4 applicants, so we should at least get 1 commissioner. And
let's hope.
usually they want 2 applicants per vacant position minimum.
Okay, let me know as soon as possible if you need me to do interviews or not.
Will do.
And
Do we have 2? Do we have 2 vacancies?
do,
Or 3?
yeah.
We have 2. Yeah, we have
There's
2.
supposed to be 7 of us,
7 of us, right? And we've got
and we
5.
only have 5.
Yeah, I think we were missing 1 for such a long time that
We forgot.
I think we've been missing one since I started.
oh, so we never replaced Aladdin?
I don't believe so.
Wow. And so I've been recruiting for the same position since 2023.
Yeah.
And then we lost to Tatiana. And yeah. Okay.
Every time I see her, I try to get her to come back, but she won't do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe you can blackmail her with some of these Zoom recordings.
I think we should just annex Medford and then that will solve the problem.
Nah, I don't want Medford. I'm still angry at them. Oh.
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess that about covers it for tonight. Our next meeting is the 22nd of July. Is that correct?
Yes. And
Okay.
unless there are conflicts or changes. Because
I'm gonna be on vacation, so I won't be available.
That's correct. I believe you told us that before.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we do have a 5th week of July. So if there's a quorum issue, we could wiggle down to the 5th week.
Sounds
And
like
that would be
Oh, yeah,
Sounds
there
like
are
less.
five Tuesdays. Well, for now it's the 22nd, and if we need to, we can wiggle to the 29th.
right. So you
That'll
just
work.
have to send something out about whether we'll have quorum.
Yep.
All right. Is there anything else anyone wants to cover?
No, I have a quick question, Malik, for you, not on our agenda. So maybe after you stop, after we close the meeting, you can stay on for a minute.
All right, that works for me.
Sounds good.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
A motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right then. Thank you all and good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night all.